Ladies and gentlemen, this is not
a drill.
We have been given a brand new Dojutsu. Yo, what's going on, Senpai Squad? Welcome back to a brand new video. Boruto chapter 47 revealed to us a reincarnated Isshiki Otsutsuki, and thus we got our first ever proper look at his face. And as a wise man once said, what the fuck is that? Yes, that's right guys, this Dojutsu is hype. Also, if you haven't seen my live reaction to the latest chapter, then check it out in the description to go watch it after you're finished with this video. But anyway, let's get back to talking about Isshiki. Like I mentioned, in this chapter we saw him transform into his true form. Kinda. This isn't quite a fully revived Isshiki, as like we know, Jigen was an insufficient vessel, one that can't quite withstand his full power, meaning that he's not quite able to be fully revived to the point where he's reached his full potential. As a fully revived Isshiki would look a little bit more like this with his full Otsutsuki robe, similar to Kaguya. In his current form, Isshiki can only survive for a few days at max, according to Amado, meaning that he is in a race against time to get his hands on a fresh vessel. Let's be honest though, we all kind of have an idea who that's gonna be. There's not many surprises there. But with Isshiki Otsutsuki, like I said, comes a new Dojutsu. We can see in one eye he has a Byakugan, and in the other, something we've never seen before. And that's what I want to talk about today, discussing the origins of its design and what we could expect to see from it in the future. Before we do discuss that, however, I will comment on the possibility that it might just be a Mangekyo Sharingan and that shrinking is just its ability. This is possible as it is in the famous wheel shape of the Sharingan. However, I just can't picture the big, bad, immortal god of the universe that could take on both Naruto and Sasuke at the same time in a weakened vessel would just have a standard Mangekyo. So for that reason, my mind automatically favours the idea of a new eye instead. And this eye, I believe, is based off of this thing called the Dharma Wheel. I want to start this section off by saying a huge thank you to everyone's hard work in the community. The Boruto community have gone full detective mode and done a quite simply brilliant job of finding all of this information. Especially a good friend of mine on Twitter named Quan, who I just had to shout out. Honestly, I don't know how you guys do it so fast. But, like I was saying, we have the Dharma Wheel, a concept with roots into Buddhism. Something that Naruto has taken inspiration from more times than you could imagine. So it makes sense for Boruto too as well. The Dharma Wheel is one of many sacred teachings in Buddhism and is one of the most important and sacred symbols in the Buddhist faith, as it represents Buddha's teachings. Now what's really interesting is that the Dharma Wheel is usually depicted with 8 gold spokes, referring to the eightfold path. The eightfold path consists of right view, right thought, right speech, right behaviour, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, and right meditation. These are known as the Noble Eightfold Paths, and are a list of 8 ideals that guide a person toward greater understanding of the universe and complete enlightenment. Just like how the Rinnegan was based off the Wheel of Life and the 6 Paths of Suffering of Buddhism, Isshiki's new eye is the same but based off the Wheel of Law and its 8 paths. So does this mean that there's someone else like the Sage of 6 Paths that is potentially above him in ranking? Is that Isshiki, or is Isshiki nothing but a successor of this Dojutsu in title? Is this foreshadowing the highly anticipated Otsutsuki king or queen? And what does this mean for Boruto's Jogan? We know that the Jogan is heavily integrated into the Otsutsuki lineage in some way, shape or form, as Toneri and Urashiki are both aware of its existence. So automatically you have to wonder what the connection between the two are. Our main character and main antagonists are both wielders of two brand new, never before seen dojutsu, both in the same eye. There's just got to be some form of relation going on there. I'd almost go to say that once these two finally meet each other, we will finally see the Jogan for the first time in the manga properly. Maybe. I hope so. But it's all good understanding the concept of this brand new funky eyeball, but the exciting part is understanding what this eye can actually be capable of. So, like we mentioned before, the one ability that this eye has showcased is its ability to shrink both Isshiki and other inanimate objects. This can be seen as when Isshiki is reincarnated, the panel closes up on his eye to indicate where the subsequent shrinking is coming from. I'm sure many of you are aware of this, it's something that the Naruto manga has done many times to indicate when an eye is in use. Right, you with me? Good. The shrinking ability of Isshiki is actually a complete reference to the character he is based on, Isshinboshi. I also feel like I should apologise quickly to everyone who knows all of this information from my Boruto chapter 46 breakdown, but Shueisha decided to take that video down in under 24 hours of its upload, so I thought it was worth skimming over again. So, Isshinboshi is translated to the little 1-inch samurai. The 1-inch samurai is obviously the origin of Ishiki's name and Sakuhina Hikona technique. The story of Isshinboshi includes him sailing in a bowl, the same kind of bowl we then see Isshiki seal Naruto in. Isshinboshi also spends time living inside a demon after being eaten, which is obviously referenced by Isshiki living inside of Jigen for over 1,000 years to survive. Until Isshinboshi escapes and ends up getting his hands on something called Uchide no Kozuchi, or the Wishing Mallet. And this Wishing Mallet is where I am certain the main and true ability of this new dojutsu comes from. In the original folklore, this power is capable of creating food, water, wealth, and other endless treasures. And this is also what gives Isshinboshi the ability to transform into the normal size of a human. So yes, I do think Isshiki will have an ability that allows him to grant wishes. It sounds crazy, right? So damn broken, being able to wish things into existence. Well, maybe not. We've already seen in chapter 24 that he completely recreated the dining table and everything that was on it after Delta destroyed it. And while people originally presumed he simply had a shrunken version of his dinner already and simply reverted it back to its original size, you have to wonder, why? Like, seriously, why? What does Isshiki achieve by carrying around a miniature table, bottle of wine, candle, plate of dinner, whatever? Like, what does he achieve by doing this? It's an absolutely ludicrous assumption. Rather than just shrinking and enlarging it, he actually recreated it again. That's not our only indication of his wishing ability though. He straight up says to Amado that his and the rest of Kara's wishes shall be granted for helping Isshiki achieve his goal. So he even admits he can make people's wishes come true. And also, one of the potential indicator to his ability being used before in the manga is Isshiki's black chakra receivers. You may think that these are just normal, but these receivers are a Rinnegan based Kekagenkai. Every other user of these black rods all had a Rinnegan, but not Isshiki. Meaning, does he instead wish for their existence instead of creating them in the usual manner? It's not like a wishing ability is completely outside of the realms of possibility when we have the likes of the creation of all things techniques existing. Question is though, where is the line drawn between the two techniques and what restrictions does this power come with? One possible restriction I did find is from a collection of Japanese poems where it is said that the treasures created from this wishing mallet would disappear at the sound of a bell. And that the moral of this is that this treasure is not real treasure after all. And when reading this, it hit me that this fits perfectly into one of the core themes of the Boruto story and its relationship with technology, and whether or not the power that someone gains from it is true or not. Naruto frowned upon the use of the Shinobi Gauntlet as it wasn't real power because it didn't test a person's true capabilities and hard work. Whereas with Momoshiki, he was the opposite, using his chakra pills to create infinite amounts of incredibly powerful jutsu with ease. And so this new potential wishing ability of Isshiki could be seen in two ways. On one hand, you've got all you wished for, but on the other, regardless of that, at the end of the day, it's not real. It's almost like the infinite Tsukiyomi. Let me know what you guys think of all this though in the comment section down below. Is a full-on wishing things into existence ability really that overpowered, considering what else is available in the series? I'm starting to think not. Also, leave a like if you did enjoy, subscribe if you're not already to become a member of the Senpai Squad, as we'll have many other Boruto videos coming your way very soon. But until then, as always guys, peace!